believe it or not, I will look at the camera for this. They used to cast ACL tears. I had a cast from my ankle to my hip. They casted ACL tears. Terrible practice, terrible.
Yeah.
So
we still have a long way to go, but that shows you how far we've come.
That's how far we've come.
This is Eve with PT Biz. We're here at Recovery in Motion. They're inside of CrossFit Gym, CrossFit Wando. Let's go in and chat.
My God.
Hi, good to see you.
How's it going?
Oh,
good to see you.
Can't wait to see the inside of the clinic.
Oh, yes.
You know, we're
where
here
the magic happens.
CrossFit Wando. This is going to be awesome. Why don't you show me in the back? It'll be so cool.
All right, come on.
All right. Session in progress.
Session in
progress
stay
here. Away. Magic is happening.
Yes, you cannot come in unless it's your turn.
I love that.
Yeah, so here's the office.
Okay.
A little smaller, but really it's all you really need because we have tons of space out there as well. So we have a treatment table.
Yep.
We call this our wellness wagon.
Wellness wagon. Oh my God. Yeah.
So
oh man, I used to love the cups.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, when people are needing some manual work, hands-on stuff, throw them on the table, use all the stuff here in the wagon.
So, you know what I love about the space? The first thing I noticed is like, you make your space your own. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And like, it's got your vibe, it's got your personality kind of mixed in with it.
Absolutely.
I just think it's, you did such a killer job.
Thank you.
So walk me a little bit through like, we're in CrossFit Wando, right?
Yeah.
We're in a CrossFit gym. That's a niche that you really enjoy working with.
Yeah, barbell
right?
athlete, CrossFitters, the active, really fit adults. We've actually been getting a lot of runners in here too.
That's
but
cool.
people who just really love fitness and working out, between Weekend Warrior for people who are, you know, doing marathons or such, or the competitive powerlifter or CrossFitter that does stuff on the weekends as well. So, yes.
Don't you have a CrossFit journey as well? Was
I
something
do.
that you
I do.
maybe dabbled into that life? Maybe walk us through that a little bit. I'd love to know.
Yeah, so
we're gonna take it
way back. So my CrossFit journey started, I think 12 years ago or such. So started CrossFit on, was actually doing a Spartan race and had a couple girls I worked with, and they were like, you should come do CrossFit, try it out. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Right.
And they're just like, no, it's going to prepare you for the race. It'll be great. You're going to love it. I was like, fine. I was a former athlete, so I was a gymnast. I was in cheerleading. I was always some form of just working out and absolutely loved it. So went to the CrossFit class, finished dead last in a class, like most people do on the first time.
Sure.
But what did it for me was I remember these people who came on cheering me on. You got this, keep going, keep pushing. Yeah. And I remember I looked and I kept making faces at them like, what are you doing?
Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah,
I don't work out.
And I remember literally saying,
that was not part of the culture before.
You don't even know me. You don't know me. Why are you doing that? But then I got done and I was like, that's really cool. And so being a former athlete, like that competitive part and that work and grit and sweating, and I was just like, oh, this is great. And they were doing handstand push-ups. I'm like, I used to do that as a gymnast. Okay, let's do that. So got into CrossFit, stuck around with it for, feels like forever. Awesome. My journey changed a little bit. I tore my ACL.
Ooh. Doing what?
So funny, not funny story. It's always the simple things. Never anything cool, I wish. Like I had my back squat max was like 315. And you would think it'd be something crazy like that.
From a burning building.
Oh, absolutely. No. Double unders. Oh, not even
on
the landing. It was in the air, and I felt my ACL go like a rubber band. And I landed, tried to jump again. I couldn't jump. And I knew I did something. My PT brain turned on real quick. And I was just like, uh-oh.
Is that kind of why you got into PT too?
Yeah, that is actually 100% of my journey. Was the first time I tore, I was 12 and didn't have PT. And believe it or not, I will look at the camera for this. They used to cast ACL tears. I had a cast from my ankle to my hip. They casted ACL tears. Terrible practice, terrible. So,
we still have a long way to go, but that shows you how far we've come.
That's how far we've come. Yes, so I was casted, did not go to PT, did not have exercises. So of course, I retore again at 16 and then had surgery. Exactly, had surgery on it. And my PT, he was incredible. He actually tore his ACL 2 weeks before me. And so what happened during our sessions, he had so much empathy. I would improve so quickly with him. And I noticed, I saw that, and I was just like, well, if he did that with me, then I'm the one now with ACL tear. I can do that with other people. Like I can be empathetic. My caring level, like that's
the kind of PT I want to be.
That's the kind of PT
I want to be.
Exactly. That's what because it worked for me. I would want to do it for someone else.
And you basically go out of 2 different offices, right?
Yeah.
This isn't your only office.
Yeah.
So walk us through that.
Yeah.
You're bouncing around.
I am. I'm not like the traditional cash-based clinic, I don't think. I don't know too many people who do this. But here in Charleston, it's very compartmentalized. So if you're in Somerville, you really kind of try to stay in Somerville. If you're in Mount Pleasant, you try to stay in Mount Pleasant, kind of vice versa. So one office here in Mount Pleasant, one in Somerville. The Somerville location, I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Mount Pleasant here Tuesday, Thursday. I've been doing that now for 3 years, and it's still been working. And people,
gives you access to different people.
And that's the thing. My reach is really
100%.
wide,
That's
especially when I'm just still solo. My reach is really wide, which helps to just get a different amount and different variations of clients in. And then also the other great thing is when I do scale, which it is coming very soon.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Coming very soon. It'll allow me, because as you can see, the space is just small, so you can't have 2 treatment tables in here. But it'll allow for the other person to be able to do the opposite days of the other clinics. So then that'll allow for the clinics to be open 5 days a week in both locations, which is the ultimate goal too.
That's awesome. And I know fairly new mom, right? So like, we got photos. Oh my goodness. So this is basically the PT Biz mascot. He's made it to multiple events.
She is.
Tell us a little bit about that journey. How being a business owner and a mom has added some grit and resilience to your life.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a much better place now with it. I will be honest. It was very challenging in the beginning. Trying to navigate. It's just new waters of being a new mom. Trying to figure out how to do that by itself. And then your schedule, your priorities have shifted.
Right.
And so making sure your priorities, make sure your baby's okay. So from a feeding perspective, figuring out a pumping schedule, figuring out, okay, when am I going to see clients, making sure she's okay. But we have a really good village here, that's one thing that's helped us a lot.
Oh, I like that analogy. You've got a village.
Yes, definitely a village. So my parents first started watching her, which made that flexibility so much easier. So I didn't have to worry about, her being in daycare and the panic of that. So it's more, we got to FaceTime here. My parents were very helpful with that.
That's great.
And then his mom now watches her. So it's been a rotation of family helping, so that really helps out a lot. But just more of this, the figuring out the priorities and figuring out how to do both and balancing, which actually the word balance that I'm learning doesn't really exist.
Sure.
It's just really trying to pick what piece of the pie do you want to do and eat today, and trying to figure out how to work that through. So it's been challenging, but I think with time, also having like PT Biz and having other moms help me, and that's another village that I've had is I know I can't do it by myself, so making sure others are there to help and guide me, suggestions on what to help, because it changes every day. And one of the most valuable things that I've heard fairly recently, I say within the last couple of months, was that, the 80-20 rule, which we use a lot of things in life, right? But 80% of the time, it's about family. If they're your priority, that's what you have to focus on. But 20% of the time, they're going to have to be a little bit of a sacrifice, because you are a business owner and this is still part of your priority. And this is actually my first baby, technically. You can't let this one suffer either.
It is your baby.
So having to think of 20% of the time, I will have to miss something, or I will have to stay up later and do this work, or try to, just navigate those business pieces, which I feel like I'm trying to navigate that a little better, which, it's possible. Moms, we're superheroes, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
There's guilt when you do that, but at the same time, you realize this is how you're providing for your family, right?
Absolutely.
Like there's a lot of mixed emotions there that are for you to contend with. And so I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
It's worth.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. I love to see it. I mean, when I started, the biggest thing, and you said it, I had basically a newborn and 2-year-old when I started my cash clinic. So I was in the thick of it for sure. And the big thing I used was my time. Like I thought I had basically an infinite amount of time, but then you run a business, you got 2 kids, and all of a sudden I was able to do probably what took me 8 hours before, I could get done in an hour. Right? And I kind of realized the power of like what focused work could do for me and for my business. And so it was a great learning curve, right? And I feel like some people can use that, to be frank, as an excuse and to do a lot less. Right? But you haven't done that. I did not decide to do it. A lot of people are like, no, now I could get a chance to learn this skill, double down, and just get better. And you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's ultimately
and too, your timeline might look a little different. So that's one thing I think that was a little harder for me in the beginning, because there's all these grand and big goals and dreams I have for my company, but I'm still going to get there.
Yeah.
It's just, it might not be the same speed as someone else. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, the real reason I started this company was, at that point, was for my future family. Yeah. And now the future is in the present. So I have to put my money where my mouth is. Like now it's, you know, I'm just working in it now. Yeah. So, and that's fine. You know, it's one of those things you just have to, you know, go through.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to watch Recovery Motion grow. I know it's going to grow like crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for just letting us spend some time here
So glad
and
to have you
sharing your
guys.
story.